Now our upcoming topic is regulated power supply. Before starting with the discussion about the regulated power supply, first of all we must know why regulated power supplies are needed. As we know that our home appliances or any digital circuit present in the house or in any application, it requires a regulated power supply, because the AC voltage which is generated by the electricity board and transmitted using transmission line to our home appliances, it is available as a parallel connection for other consumers too. So that is why whenever the load in a circuit is increased, that will need more voltage, and the second parallel connection or third parallel connection will reduces that voltage. Now this creates the fluctuation. So regulated power supply is such a power supply whose output voltage is always constant, even if there is a variation in the input voltage. In the same way, when load changes, if number of loads are connected, the load is increasing, that will decrease the resistance, and that will create increase in the load current. So when load current increases, the voltage at the load also changes. So there will be fluctuation at the output also. If the temperature also fluctuated, there will be fluctuation at the output of the power supply. So these fluctuations due to change in input voltage, change in load current and change in the temperature, that will create the fluctuation at the output. And as we know that the digital circuits works on the binary levels, binary voltage levels, that means it requires plus 5 volt constant and 0 volt constant. If this binary levels changes, then the 0 will be considered as 1 and 1 is considered as 0. So that will create the fluctuation in the output of any digital circuits. So this digital circuit requires a constant DC voltage and regulated voltage. So for this we need a regulated power supply. The power supply with rectifier and filter circuit gives the pure DC output voltage, but it is not perfect. That means it fluctuates with the variation in input voltage and load condition. So it is an unregulated DC. To regulate it, such unregulated DC supply is not desirable because of many electronic equipments and all the digital circuit do require constant voltage for their operation. Therefore, regulated power supply is very necessary. There are many regulated power supply that can be constructed using various components and various designs. In our scope of syllabus, there are 4 types of regulated power supply which we have to discuss here. The first regulator is the Zener regulator. Here the Zener diode is used as a regulator. Second is transistorized series regulator, in which transistors are used to construct the regulator. Third is the IC regulators, that means transistorized circuit. It is fabricated on a same chip, and that chip is known as IC, so that forms the IC regulators. And last one is the switching mode power supply regulator, in which the transistor is used as in switching mode to construct the regulator. So these are the 4 types of regulated power supply or regulators which we are going to discuss here. The first regulator here is a Zener regulator. This regulator is also called as shunt regulator because the Zener diode, it is connected in parallel with the output of rectifier and in parallel with the load. That is why this regulator is called as shunt regulator also. The voltage regulator using Zener diode is shown here. The load resistor is in parallel with the series circuit of resistor RS and Zener. The Zener is connected in reverse bias mode. The Zener diode will conduct only when source voltage Vs is greater than that of the Zener breakdown voltage, keeping the constant voltage across it. Before starting with Zener diode as a regulator, we should have to understand the characteristics of Zener diode. Zener diode is a heavily doped diode. By varying the doping concentration, the breakdown voltage can be changed from 2 volt to 1000 volt. Now what is meant by breakdown voltage? It is the voltage when the diode is in reverse bias mode. When the reverse voltage is applied to a diode, the depletion layer inside the diode will start increasing. So that depletion layer has a resistance. So with the applied voltage, this resistance also increases. And when resistance increases, the current can't be passed throughout the diode. Now this depletion layer has some limit when it goes on increasing. After reaching the possible physical area for the depletion layer to get wider, when it closed, at that time the resistance of the diode will be at its peak value. That means almost all the reverse voltage, possible voltage is applied there. The depletion layer is wider and it is occupying the maximum physical area in the diode. At that time a breakdown will occur. This breakdown is nothing but the current will let to pass throughout the device at this voltage. So that is why this voltage is called as breakdown voltage. So this will happen at the higher voltage in reverse bias mode. To have the breakdown voltage, the applied voltage should be always reverse bias and it must be greater than the Zener voltage. When it is in breakdown region, the variation in the current produces negligible change in the voltage. So it maintains almost constant voltage across it. Therefore, can be used as a regulator. So this is the property we have used of Zener as a regulator. When Zener diode is connected in reverse bias mode, it will increases its current only and the voltage across the Zener diode will remain constant. So that is why this constant voltage can be used as regulating voltage. So we can use a Zener diode as a regulator. Now back to Zener diode as a regulator. From the circuit diagram you can see that the current through the resistance Rs can be given as Is equal to Vs minus Vz upon Rs. Formula can be memorized like this, that we can consider the Vs as a 1 voltage and the Zener voltage as the second voltage, and the resistance Rs, it is connected in between these two voltage. The voltage across the Rs can be calculated by subtracting these two things. Vs minus Vz will be the voltage across series resistance Rs. So here Is will be Vs minus Vz, that means the voltage across the resistance divided by resistance. Simple Ohm's law is there, so we can remember this. As the RL and Zener are connected in parallel, so the voltage across Zener and voltage across the load resistance will be same and it will be constant. Here we are neglecting the very small Zener resistance for simplicity purpose. Now the resistance Rs and Zener, where it is connected, that will create a node. If you consider the Kirchhoff's current law at node, the current equation will be like this: Is equal to Iz plus IL, or that can be simplified by Iz equal to Is minus IL. Now this regulator has to provide two types of regulations. One regulation is called as line regulation. Suppose when the source voltage changes, the voltage drop across Rs will also changes. So it will be adjusted that the load voltage will always remain constant. Suppose Vs increases, the current Is will also increases. As there is no change in the load, IL remain constant. From the KCL equation, it will result increase in the Zener current. And when Zener current fluctuated, the voltage across the Zener will remain constant. The voltage drop across Rs will also increases as Is increases. Thus, increase in source voltage is manipulated by the increase in voltage across Rs to keep the output voltage constant. Similarly, if Vs decreases, Is also decreases and the voltage across Rs will also decreases. VL and IL remain constant, which keep the output voltage constant. So in this way, whenever there is a fluctuation in the line voltage, that is the output of rectifier, there will be constant voltage at the output of this regulator. In this way, the line regulation is performed by the Zener diode. Second regulation is called as load regulation. Load regulation means when the load at the output it changes, the load current also changes, and that will create the fluctuation in the voltage at the output. If load voltage decreases, the current IL increases. From the KCL, Iz falls by same amount of Is, and which is constant. The voltage drop across Rs will be constant, so the output voltage is constant. Similarly, if load increases, IL decreases and Zener current Iz increases, keeping Is at constant. Thus the output voltage will remain constant. So if load changes, the output voltage will also remain constant, as we have used Zener diode in reverse bias mode. So in this way, two types of regulation is provided by Zener diode. So Zener diode can be used as a voltage regulator. when this Zener diode is used as a regulator, this Zener diode is selected by using some factors, and they are called as ratings of Zener diode. First rating is the power rating. If the power dissipation in the Zener diode exceeds, it will get damaged. So power rating is the maximum power that a Zener diode can handle without any damage. This power dissipation within the Zener diode should be always less than the power rating, so that it operates in breakdown region without damage. For this purpose, the current through the Zener is limited by series current limiting resistor RS. The power rating, just like resistance, comes in the wattage. So Zener diodes can have power rating from quarter watt to 50 watts. That means the physical size of Zener diodes will decide the power rating of Zener diode. Second is the Zener breakdown voltage, that is VZ. It is the reverse bias breakdown voltage at which Zener diode conducts safely with no damage. So that voltage is called as Zener breakdown voltage. Current rating of Zener diode. It is the maximum current through the Zener diode without any damage. So that can be calculated as Iz max equal to Pz upon Vz. Pz means the power in the Zener diode and Vz is the Zener breakdown voltage. Fourth thing is the Zener resistance. It is the resistance of Zener diode when it is conducting. This resistance is the dynamic resistance, and that can be calculated by delta Rz equal to delta Vz upon delta Iz. That means change in voltage of Zener divided by change in current through the Zener. There are certain drawbacks of Zener diode regulator. First drawback, that there is a considerable power loss in the current limiting resistance Rs when the heavy load currents are required. Second drawback is changes in load current will create small changes in the Zener current. So these are the drawbacks of Zener diode. As we have discussed, Zener regulator will provide load regulation and line regulation. These parameters can also be calculated. First of all, let us see how load regulation is calculated. It is defined as the change in regulated output voltage when the load current changes from minimum to maximum. And this effect of load regulation is called as load effect. And this load regulation can be calculated as V no load minus V full load upon V full load into 100. This load regulation is considered in the percentage, so that is why it is multiplied by 100. Now what do you mean by V no load? It is the output voltage when no load is connected there. So with zero load current, the output voltage, that voltage is called as V no load. Now second, V full load. V full load is the output voltage when the full load is connected there with full load current, and this voltage is called as V full load. For good power supply, load regulation should be as low as possible. Now the second regulation is line regulation. This is also defined like this, that it is the change in the regulated output voltage for a specified range of line voltage. For example, if the line voltage is varying from 198 to 240 volt, then if the output voltage changes from 10 volt to 10.005 volt or 9.995 volt, then this source regulation or line regulation can be calculated as V max minus V minimum divided by V nominal. Now what do you mean by V max? V max means when the input voltage changes at its maximum value, that maximum value will be V max, and V minimum means when the input voltage changes to or decreases to lowest value, that lowest value is the V minimum, and V nominal is the voltage for which we have designed the regulator. Or in case of suppose Zener regulator is there and suppose we are designing it for 9 volt, then this 9 volt will be the nominal voltage. So by using this formula, we can calculate the source regulation. For good power supply, source regulation should be as low as possible. So these are the definitions regarding the load regulation and line regulation. Now another definition regarding the regulator is ripple rejection. Ripple means the unwanted fluctuation present in the output voltage of rectifier. The regulated power supply gives perfect DC voltage. It has high ripple rejection. By knowing the ripple rejection, we can get idea about how many ripples are rejected at the output. It is specified in terms of decibels. For example, if it is 80 dB, it implies that the output has 80 dB, that means 1000 times less ripples than that of the input ripples. Another term used in regulator is the output impedance. Regulated power supply is very stiff DC voltage source, so its output impedance is quite low. The fifth definition is overload protection. In power supply, due to overloading, a large current will flows through the load resistance and which may damage the power supply or the regulator. The overloading may occur due to short circuit of negligible load resistance. To prevent this, power supply must have overload protection or a short circuit protection. The circuit which limits the large current increase is called as overload protection circuit, and this protection circuit must be present in the regulator circuit. So these are some definitions regarding the regulators.